Hello and good morning to you. We are live. So happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. If you're new here, my name is Asiba. This is Asiba's Place. It's my channel where I talk about being a military spouse. I offer advice and some of the lessons that I've learned along the way, and hopefully some tips where I can help out the newbies. So last week, I posted a reel on Instagram where I described the military spouse as the supportive character. And I got a few questions on that reel, like, how am I supposed to just accept that I'm not in charge of my own life? And obviously that's not what I meant, but I did want to answer specifically up here so I can reference it for people in the future. So these days there's a lot of references to being the main character, being the it girl. You know, it's all about me. My life is about me, me, me. And frankly, it's not realistic, especially if you're in a marriage and especially if you're a parent. So step one, I think, is to realize that this isn't a helpful perspective. If everybody in the family is just obsessed with me, then you're not really going to work well together. Not only that, but in the grand scheme, the military, like, there's not a whole lot of things you can control. They control everything from where you live to how often you move to whether or not your spouse is going to be there when you have your baby. So to think that you're going to be the main character in this this particular situation, it's not practical. But I do want to offer some ways that can kind of help you shift your perspective so you don't feel completely out of control in your life, because there are some things that you can control. Not only that, but there's a different way of looking at it so you don't feel like, okay, that's it, my needs, my wants don't matter, because that's not true. As usual, I have my notes over here to the side, so as I'm looking over, that's just to help keep me on track. So first, to become one, meaning when you say I do, it's really no longer about you individually. So the two of you are now a unit, and you should think of the needs, the wants, and the desires of the family. That's going to be a better perspective, and that's going to help you think less selfishly about what I want, and what about me, and what about what's better for our family, what's better for our marriage, what's better for me and my husband as a unit together. And in the same way, as a unit, there has to be one representative. In the military example, like, obviously there's a unit, there's different service members all throughout. You've got officers, you've got you're enlisted, you've got the juniors, all different kinds of ranks, but there's one commanding officer. There's one person who's in charge. Same with your body. You have your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your heart, your organs, everything, but there's one head. So in that way, there can only be one individual who controls the whole thing. And I don't mean controlling independently. Your head can't move without your neck, right? Whoever's in charge in a company, you have your chief marketing officer, you have your president, you have management, but the one CEO doesn't operate without perspective and support from the other members of the organization, right? So if there is one head of the unit, then they don't operate without the support of the other person, meaning the spouse. And I defer as my husband as the head, as he's the service member. So if the military is the background, he is the main character. As the spouse, I'm the supportive character. And it's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean that you're less than. It just means that you offer the position of support. Lastly, I want to talk about your needs, what you want, because it matters. This is not to say that nothing that you want to do in life is important, that it's all about them. No, of course not. I think it's very wise for spouses every single day to do something that they enjoy. I often suggest about an hour if you're into fitness, like, get outside and go for a run. If you like crafting, like, sit your things out, have your craft glue and your magazines and your scrapbooking, and do the thing that you enjoy. It's really important for us to curate our own hobbies and to have the things that we like, and make sure that we're spending time doing those things. That's going to prevent you from being burnt out to being, you know, service minded and caring for the family and the house and whatever else your obligations are. Make sure that you're making time to do those things. Also, if you have if you're like an emotional type person and you like to see people all the time, like get out and make some friends. It's really important, especially if you're moving every couple years, as we do in the military world. Then you're going to be starting over every couple of years. So you want to make sure that you're making new friends, getting out there and making those connections, because one, those oftentimes will follow you from one place to the other. I have friends that I've made when we were stationed in California that I saw again when we were in Okinawa. The military is very small, and those relationships last for years and years to come. Not only that, but your service member will inevitably leave, whether it be a deployment or he's TDY or even just a quick field operation, and you're gonna wanna have that support out there. So make sure you're doing that. That's very important. And as a result, this perspective, this change in you wanting to be the main character and it being all about you, is gonna grow you as an individual. Oftentimes it happens with women when we become mothers and we realize it's not all about us and it's not all about our needs. But if you're not a mother yet, if you're newly married, then this perspective shift is going to mature you. And it's going to show you that it's not always about the individual, that the two of you will work much better if you think of yourselves as one unit, and there's one leader of the unit, and your position in that unit is so important because the head can't move without the neck. It's true. So the two of you come together to make decisions for the family as a whole. So I hope that helped a little bit. I have a lot more that I could say about it, but I don't want this to be a 30-minute video. I am thinking of doing a challenge in my group where every day I'm just offering different things that you can do today that can kind of help shift your perspective and help you see the bright side of not being the main character all the time. I feel silly every single time I say that, but it's really popular. I see it everywhere. So I will be doing that challenge maybe starting next week. And if you're not in the group, make sure you hop in. I'm going to link it below. That way you can be a part of that and see what kind of changes you can see in yourself as well as in your marriage when you start looking at things a little less selfishly and a little bit more of what you can bring to the table to your unit, your marriage as a whole. As always, thanks for watching. I'm going to link a blog post below for you to read a few more details about what I was saying today, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.